The opera group's been developing a new opera which explores dementia and specifically Alzheimer's disease with composer Elena and poet Glyn Maxwell.
I have had the most terrible news today. I will fold here in the chair for me.
The opera focuses on the story of a man who's been diagnosed with dementia.
I like the theoretical idea of combining speech with music, but I wasn't sure how in practice it will work. And then I realized it's quite natural, it works, just a real speech.
She says I'm going to help you, the lady. I'm going to help this gentleman.
The idea of having the patient speaking and everybody else singing, I think is a very strong notion, and it really characterises the gulf between the person who's suffering and the world that's going on around and making no sense at all.
Where's my present?
What did you bring her?
It's given already. I gave her the present.
She has it already.
She carried upstairs. There was lightning and thunder, and then there were raindrops.
Just like today.
When her back was turned.
One of the thrilling parts of the project for the opera group has been the opportunity to work in partnership with King's College London, with the Institute of Psychiatry, and really work at producing and curating a body of work which involves discussing the ideas within the opera, as well as producing the opera itself.
I think what's interesting in what the opera group are doing is that the voice of the scientist is heard, the scientist as a person, and I think that's a voice we almost never hear. And in fact, even as scientists, we talk in the third person. It's as though we don't exist, but actually we do exist, and we are players, and we are actually involved at many different levels, including, for most of us, at an emotional level too.
No, you're on page 1, but one page on. Page 1A, I'm afraid, as it's an insert in the second handout, not the yellow handout. I'm being waved at, I'm not sure why.
When you actually go and see these people and talk to the scientists and talk to the carers and talk to the relatives of these people, then it becomes real and it becomes very touching.
The person with the disease has lost a conception of what they actually look like and invariably thinks that he or she is younger. So when they look in the mirror, they see somebody older who they don't recognise.
It's an old man who looks. It's an old man in the square. In the square, in the open square. The window in the square. The window!
I think ultimately, though, one has to tell a story. And I don't think we do any good if we just mystify.
It was just what she wanted. She tied it with ribbons. You her grandmother?